I'm Professor Rob Townsend. I'm a consultant microbiologist here in Sheffield. I'm the infection control doctor for Sheffield Health and Social Care Trust, and today we're here to talk about questions and myths around flu, and I'm based actually in one of the flu jab cafes currently. I mean, nothing in life is 100%. The thing with the flu vaccine campaigns is they tend to run over the autumn and the winter, which is when most of the respiratory viruses are circulating. So you may well have the flu jab and then come down with a cold or a metapneumovirus virus or an RSV virus or one of those other viruses that are not flu but give you a bad cold. And that leaves some people thinking, oh, the flu jab didn't work. Or sometimes you may actually get a small attenuated version of flu. So the flu jab has actually protected you from the worst effects of flu. But it is a very safe, effective vaccine. Influenza A is a very severe virus, and there are very few respiratory viruses that could actually kill fit, healthy people, but influenza is one of them. And even if the flu vaccine isn't 100% effective, even if it's only 80, 90, 95% effective, that will still protect you from the worst effects of influenza. Most people probably don't do ward rounds in intensive care units like me and my colleagues do, and every winter we will see patients with influenza on our intensive care, ranging from post-flu pneumonias to influenza pneumonitis, and they can be in fit, healthy individuals. So influenza can kill people, and it can, if it doesn't kill them, it can make them severely ill. Yes, I mean it works both ways. You have to protect yourself from patients you may come in contact with who have influenza, and you could also have subclinical influenza yourself and pass it on to vulnerable service users and patients. So it works both ways. You do currently need the flu vaccine every year because the flu strains will change subtly from one year to the next, and what protects you this year may not have protected you last year and won't protect you next year. So there are subtle changes year on year, and that's why the vaccine is updated annually. Some of the other infections that you will have vaccines for, like hepatitis, they don't change. So actually, once you're immune, you are immune, with chickenpox and measles. But flu is a lot more subtle than that, and it can change its characteristics one year to the next. You do. Influenza A can strike anyone down. I remember an example from about 2 or 3 winters ago when 3 individuals, young, fit, healthy, exactly as you've just described in your question, were admitted through our A&E and went directly to intensive care. One died a couple of days later of flu pneumonitis, and the others died probably 2 or 3 days after that with necrotizing pneumonia. But the starting point for all of it was influenza, and they were all fit, healthy individuals. So it can strike anyone down. The actual numbers are probably relatively low. Certainly now that we have an effective vaccine, we have reduced those numbers. But you remember the influenza A outbreak at the end of World War I killed more individuals than World War I. So you're talking those sorts of numbers in years of pandemics. But thankfully, because we have a good, safe, effective vaccine, the deaths are much reduced. Anyone that's had influenza A will tell you it feels terrible, and the first week they feel like they're going to die, and the second week they probably wish they had. It is very different. A cold makes you feel horrible, but you can still function. Influenza A, you've got a high fever, everywhere hurts. It is a very different entity to a cold. It is much more severe.